am so excited that you're all here with us tonight on our Level Up bootcamp. I think on that chat we have about almost 70 people, which is just incredible. The numbers just kept on growing and growing. So I'm so excited for you all to be here. As you will have seen, Arbonne have given us everything on the table this month. So we thought, why not run a boot camp and help as many of you as possible to level up this month, because it is the time to do it, right? So for anyone who I've yet to meet, my name is Emma Sangster. I think I've met most of you, but some of you are brand new in business, which is so exciting. I know some of you have just joined in the last couple of days. So well done for being here on the call. Well done, all of you, for being on this call, because by being here, by believing in yourself, by being committed to your goals, that's half the battle, right? It's just putting that intention out there and going after it. You know that if you write your goal down, it's much, much more likely to happen. So if you haven't taken a minute yet today to write your goal down, please write it down just now. Like, what is your goal for this month? What is it you're going for? Like, are you going for district manager if you're a consultant? If you're a district manager, are you going for area manager? Both those power to district manager and area manager incentives are on, which is amazing. So just take two seconds to write that goal down, whatever it is for you. And I want you to keep that goal with you every single day, because the way to push yourself outside your comfort zone and do the things that are hard is going to be when you look at that note and you remember what your goal is. And not just the goal of, you know, the numbers or how many QVs you want to have this month or how many people you want to have join your team this month. The goal has to be personal to you as well. So yes, write down that part of it, but also write down what that means to you. Keep that with you every single day. Take it everywhere with you. Have it in your purse. Look at it several times a day. Look at it first thing when you wake up in the morning. Look at it last thing before you go to bed at night. And just take that with you. And when you're faced with those decisions that will come up, the difficult decisions of what do I do? Am I going to do the scary thing or am I going to do the easy thing? Look at that goal and remind yourself while you're doing it. So yeah, keep that goal with you wherever you are and write it down. Like, I know that we live in a digital world now, but when you actually write it on a bit of paper, it's better to look at than just having it in your phone or whatever. So if you want to, share in the chat what your goal is as well. Totally up to do to you if you want to do it. Some people have personal goals, but if you want to share with everyone, it's great having that accountability too. So share in the chat, cheer each other on. This is about that accountability, and that WhatsApp group's going to be full of that as well. So historically, when we've done boot camps in the past, they've been extremely successful. I remember, I've not actually done a boot camp for a few years, but I remember a few years ago running an area manager boot camp, and I think that there was about I don't know, maybe 60, 70 people in that group who were going for area manager at the time. And we had a lot of graduates from that. So this is going to be no different. It's going to be very similar to the ones that we've done in the past. It's going to be focusing on skills to grow your business. And we're going to give you activities as well at the end of every call to go and actually put the things that we've been talking about into action as well, because it's all very well coming onto a call. It's easy to do that, right? But it's what you do when you go off the calls that actually count. So some of you, like I said, going for district manager, some of you are going for area manager, some of you might be going for region as well, which is exciting. But the thing is, no matter what goal you're going for in Arbonne, the activity is exactly the same. And I remember always hearing when I started my business, if you can get to district manager, you can get to national vice president. It's just repeating the same actions over and over. It's helping more people do the same, helping more people learn about this business, helping more people with the products as well. And when you build that team, that's when you get leverage in your business. And that's what we really need to grow our team, because true wealth isn't just about having money, it's about having time and money. Because for a lot of people, they say money is the goal, and that is the goal for a lot of people. But if you don't have the time to enjoy that money, what's the point? So we want to have that leverage, and that's why growing your team is so important as well. So we have 2 actions in this business, and this is important to remember, because I think we can overcomplicate things so much. The 2 actions that we have in the business are to speak to people about the business and to speak to people about the products. That is it. Speak to people about the products, speak to people about the business, and then obviously whatever route they go down will help them with either of them. But they are the 2 actions that we have in our business. Number 1 rule that I always have is I always lead with the business. The exception to this is if somebody speaks to me specifically about products. you know, if they'll message me, which obviously most of the time I'm actually reaching out to people, but if somebody does message me and they're like, tell me more about the greens, I'll be like, no, I'll tell you about the business. I'm not going to do that, right? That's the exception to the rule. Obviously, I'm going to tell them about the greens if that's what they're asking for. But what I will do is I'll tell them about the greens. I'll stay in touch with them. I'll find out how much they love them, because they always do. And then I will say to them, do you know that there's actually a business attached to this? And I know how much you love it and you'll be recommending it to others. Would you be interested in hearing more about what I do and how you can earn an income from doing that? So a lot of, well, all conversations can lead to business conversations as well, and keep that in the back of your mind, because I think that a lot of us will probably have had those product conversations in the past and they've never led to a business conversation. And here's the thing, the business isn't going to be for everyone, and that's fine. Like, I don't really mind if people say yes or no to me. All I'm doing is I want to make sure that everybody knows that there's an opportunity attached to these amazing products. And my job is just to share that with people. My job isn't to convince anybody of whether this is for them or not. My job is simply to share the information so that they know what it is that they are saying yes or no to, right? So just remember that, keep that in your head. Like, our job is just to share the information. What happens next, a lot of the time, is out with our control, but our job is to share that information with people. And I always think, you know, how would I feel if someone offered me the products and not the business? I'd be pissed off about it, because I'm like, you didn't tell me there's a way to earn an income attached to these products. So just keep that like in your head as well. When people say, I don't want to bother people, I'm like, do you feel bothered that someone told you about this incredible opportunity, or do you feel so grateful that someone offered you this amazing opportunity? So how are you reaching out to people? Are you leading with the business, or are you leading with the products? And when you actually ask yourself that question, you might realize that maybe you are leading with the product some of the time. When you lead with the business, you can always fall back on the product. So if somebody says no to the business, you can be like, okay, cool, but I'd still love to share the products with you because they're incredible and I know that they'll help you with X, Y, and Z. If you lead with the products and someone says no, then you can't be like, oh, wait till I tell you about the business. So when you always go with the product, when you always go with the business first, you can fall back on something else, which is the products. So obviously use your initiative with this. If someone is completely a product person and that's an opener and how to speak to them about the business, then that's a different conversation. But what I'm saying is, just don't ever leave the business opportunity sitting on the table because you're jumping in with the products, because sometimes I think we forget that and we feel it's easier to do that. So how many people are you actively sharing the business with? How often have you reached out to somebody recently and said, hey, I'd love to tell you more about what I do. Would you be open to chatting about it? That's literally all you need to say. I'd love to tell you more about what I do. Would you be open to chatting about it? And this is something else that we overcomplicate in our head all the time, isn't it? It's like, what do I say to this person? What do I say to that person? Oh, I'm speaking to this person. They're a PT. Does anybody know a PT who does this business? Like, we don't need all that stuff, right? It's sometimes good if there is someone that they can relate to. I get that. But all you need to say is, hey, I'd love to tell you more about what I do. Would you be open to chatting about it? Steph McLeish, I don't know if you're on this call. Wait, can I see Steph? Yeah, you are. Have you got that 40 Faces document to hand beside you? Bet you do. She sent me this last night. Right, okay. So this is, I don't know if you can all see that, Steph's 40 Faces document. So Steph, there we go, right? So Steph's drawn 40 faces out on her notepad, and what she's doing is she's colouring them in green as she speaks to those 40 people this month. Okay, so as you can see, she's already ticked off 7 and we're on the 2nd of the month, so doing a good job there, Steph. So this is something else that you can do. Draw 40 faces in a notepad, and as you speak to people, colour in the faces, because again, our job is to share the information with people, and that's it. So like, once you shared the information with someone, like told them the full Arbonne story, then colour in that face. But start with 40. If you share the Arbonne story to 40 people, like 40 times this month with 40 different people, then you're going to be so much further ahead on your journey. So it could be 10 people at once. Maybe you're going to invite 10 people to a DA who are all going to listen in at the same time, and that's a great way to leverage your time if you do that. It could be over one-to-ones. But it's a great way to keep track of how many people you're actually sharing the full Arbonne story with, because again, we can tell ourselves these stories in our head, and it's not actually sometimes until we have it down on a piece of paper that we're like, oh, I actually didn't share the full thing with that person. So it's a great way to track it. And also know what your ratios are. So if you're looking for X amount of people to join your business this month, how many people do you need to speak to? Like, do you know what your success rate is? I can talk about averages, but you should know what your own success rate is. And if you're new in the business, you won't know this because you won't have spoken to enough people yet to know this. But if we break it down, say you're aiming for 4 people to join you this month in business. So out of about 10 people that you ask to take a look, for instance, out of 10, about 5 will actually take a look or meet you for coffee or sit down with you to share the info so that you can share the information with them. And so that's like about 5 out of 10. And then out of that 5, maybe 1 or 2 of them will join you. So out of every 10 people that you speak to, probably 1 or 2 of them will join you. So if we take CES 40 bases, then that's probably likely to be about 4 people joining your business in a month. So it's always good to work back from that, because sometimes we think, oh, I really want 4 people to join me in business this month. I'm going to focus on speaking to 4 people. And then what happens is no one joined you, or 1 person joined you and you feel disappointed. So just set your expectations high, like go bigger, 10x your activity of what you're doing. And when you're in the activity, it's so much more fun because you're kept busy, you know what you're doing, you're in a flow, you're in that momentum. It becomes easier when you do it fast rather than start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And a pro tip is to bring your upline with you if you can. Like if you're meeting someone for coffee and you've not been doing this business for that long, bring your upline with you, because it will probably improve your ratios. Because if you have someone there who's been doing it longer, who's got more experience, who can answer the questions, not only are you learning from them, but your percentage, your ratios will probably go up because they'll be able to answer the questions there and then. It will speed up the process. So if you've got someone, if you're new, who, or even if you're not new and you just feel a bit like, oh, I just like to hear it from someone else's perspective, or I'd like to shadow somebody a little bit, ask your upline to come with you, because we are absolutely there to help for that, for having those one-to-one conversations or doing the DAs or launches or whatever. So who are we speaking to? You know, the days of just sliding into somebody random on Instagram's DMs and saying, hey girl, I've started a business, I'd love to tell you about it. In fact, they were never alive. Like we never did that in our business. Those days are not alive, and they've never really been alive. It's just weird. Like if you feel that something is weird and you feel a bit icky doing it, then it probably is a bit icky. So don't go down that path. But what I do firmly believe in is making genuine connections with people. People will often tell you exactly the reasons why they need this business if you ask them enough questions. So it's just getting into conversations with people every single day, at the school drop off, at the gym, when you go to work, when you text people, when you do get into conversations with people on social media. You know, what kind of conversations are you having? If someone's reacting or sending you a message in response to a story that you've put up, are you sending one word back? Are you actually getting into a conversation with those people to get to know them a little bit better and asking them questions? If you actually take your head out your phone, sometimes you'll realize how many great conversations you can get into in a day. And you know, we live in this world that is so like digitally obsessed that sometimes you can go a full day without speaking to someone. But if you are intentional about it, you can speak to a lot of people in a day, and you will make a lot of people's day by speaking to them as well, because a lot of people are lonely. You know, we live in a world where we walk to school with our heads in our phone, and then we go to the gym and you use your electronic pass on your phone to get into the gym, and then you pop your headphones in so that nobody talks to you, and then you go to a coffee shop and you just order your coffee on your phone so that you don't need to speak to anyone. You go pick it up, you put your head in a laptop to get work done, then you go in the school run with your head in the phone again, you get the kids and you're home and you've not spoken to anyone. Now that day could look extremely different if you just popped your phone and your device is away and you had your head up and you spoke to people on the way to the school run, and then you, instead of choosing to use your electronic device to go into the gym, you spoke to the person at the reception desk and you asked them how their day was, and instead of popping your headphones in, you speak to people when you're on the gym floor. You know, that those conversations that we often miss out on just because of the way the world is can lead to so much opportunity if you just take your awareness to how you can have conversations. And when you do get into those conversations with people, asking them how they are, what they're doing. By having those conversations with people, you will hear that people are complaining about everything these days. They're complaining about the price of coffee. They are complaining that they want to get out of the UK, but they can't afford to this summer. They're talking about feeling sluggish. They're talking about feeling tired. They're talking about being off on mat leave and not wanting to go back to work, but having to go back to work. They're talking about the cost of living rising. Like, those conversations are the kind of things that people are talking about. And we have solutions to that. We can say to those people, listen, I'd love to meet you for coffee. I don't know if what I do would be something for you or not. But I'd love to tell you more about it. So when you actually ask people, tell me more about that, and how does that make you feel, and get into those great conversations with people, they will tell you the reasons as to why they should hear about this business if you ask enough questions and get into those conversations. So just bring that to your awareness. The answers are all around us when we ask the questions, how are you? So if you are new to the business, here's another tip. When somebody does ask you what you do or ask you a little bit about the business, you just need to say a little bit. You know, what I always say to people is, like, if someone tells me in a conversation that they're struggling with something, I would say to them, that sounds like you're struggling with whatever it is. Listen, I've got a business that may be for you or may not be for you, but I'd love to meet you for coffee to tell you about it properly, instead of trying to have that whole conversation at the school gates of exactly how Arbonne works, because there's not enough time for that. You want to sit down and have that proper conversation with someone. So if you are new in the business, it can be very tempting just to try and tell everybody everything at once, but just make it intentional so that they set time aside, you set time aside, and you're going to meet them for that purpose. And obviously within the first 48 hours of when you've had that initial conversation is ideal to set that time aside. If your sponsor can come with you, amazing. So let's just, where am I? Oh, get good at, yeah, just get good at, sorry, I've got this really annoying cough still. Get really good at offering solutions to people. So that and also when people ask you what it is you do, what is it you're saying to people? Because a lot of the time, how we respond to that question will determine how interested they are in hearing more about it. Because quite often we can do the business a disservice if we say, oh, I am such and such, and also I've got this little business on the side, and blah blah blah. If you downplay the business, if you're doing the business a disservice in that way, and how life-changing this can be for somebody else, they're not going to want to take time out of their day to come and listen to it. What I usually say is I have an incredible online health and wellness business where I help others earn an income around their commitments by doing what I do. Basically, that's all I say to people. And then I say to them, what is it you do? And then they'll say, tell me more about your business, or I'll offer them solutions to whatever it is they're saying. But the main thing is that the passion that you have behind what you're saying and how you show up with your business is what makes the biggest impact. So when you're proud, when you're confident, when you're excited, that energy is contagious and they want to hear more about it. When you're unsure and when you're shy and almost apologetic, they're not going to want to hear any more about the business. So just think, how am I showing up for my business? Am I confident in what I'm saying? Do I have passion? Do I believe in myself? Do I believe in my goals? Because that is going to hugely impact the number of people that you have conversations with this month. Show up big, show up bold, be proud, be confident. Listen to some network marketing audios if you need some more confidence. But just remember that courage always comes before confidence. So have that courage to break out your comfort zone and do those things, because you're not going to move forward staying where you are right now. So let's just break down some of the numbers really quickly. So I think the two main goals that people are going for on here are district manager and area manager. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So district manager first. So 3,500 to get to district manager this month. Amazing, right? Usually it's 6,000 over a month or 6,000 over 2 months. So 3,500 this month. So we're all overachievers in this group. You're on this call, you're already here. So let's aim for the 15th of the month, okay? We're going to aim to get to district manager by the 15th, and then you're going to have 2 weeks extra to bump that up, right? To get ready to go area qual this month. You can also, if you can only do the power to area manager if you're already a district manager this month. So that's good to bear in mind. But if you've reached your goal by the 15th of the month, then you can go for area qual by the end of the month. So let's aim for the 15th. So if we're aiming for the 15th, what that looks like per day is 250 QV a day. That's it, 250 QV a day. It's not a lot. So that's like one daily essentials pack a day, or it's 130 days a day, or it's one derm results 5-step a day, right? Any of those packs passing through your business is more than that 250 QV on a daily basis. So let's look at the breakdown of the whole goal. So 3,500 QV equates to 18 green synergy and fizz. So the pack of green synergy and fizz. So it's 18 of them, or it's 16 derm results advanced 3 steps, or it's 13 daily essentials kits, or it is 11 30 days kits, or it is 9 derm results advanced 5 steps, right? So that's your numbers. Where are you focusing? When it comes to products, where are you focusing? What products are you talking about on your socials? What products are you talking about daily? What are you showing up with? What have you got in your clear bottle? Are you taking your greens to the school run with you, or wherever you're going, the gym in the morning? Take that in a clear bottle. I started doing that after someone talked about it at the area retreat. It's amazing the amount of conversations you'll get into when you take your greens with you. I usually do my greens in the morning, and then I just have a bottle that I take with me. I've already done my greens because I like doing them as soon as I get up. I just take the bottle with me because people ask about what's in the bottle, right? And then like the other day, Carter started drinking it, and I was aware it was like a 3-day-old greens, and he was like started drinking at the football. I'm like, oh God, that's been sitting in there for 3 days because that's not my real one. I'd already done my real one. So what are you focusing on? Maybe it is about the daily habits. Like maybe that's what you're showing up with, helping people enhance their day with the daily habits. I remember, what am I talking about here? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, what I'm saying here is, remember as well, the numbers that I've just broken down is just talking about you. This isn't even talking about when people join your team and what they bring to the table as well. So that's all in addition, but I'm just talking about just from you. That's the breakdown, right? So when we talk about the importance of time leverage and what I was talking about earlier, that is how you're going to achieve that goal even quicker, is by bringing new consultants into the team and helping them grow their business. And it's so much fun, honestly, to work alongside people and have people run there with you. So really this month, like make sure that you're focusing on that, like bringing new consultants into the team. How many people are you speaking to about the business? Okay, for those going area manager, so power to area manager this month. If you're already a district manager, you can get to area manager this month with 15,000 QV. Pop in the chat if you're going for area manager this month. So exciting! I know so many of you are. Okay, so I'm gonna break that down as well. So if you're going for area manager, let's focus on helping 3 people get to district manager. So that's 3 people with a 3,500 this month in your team getting to district manager, which equates to 10,500 QV. And then that leaves an additional 4,500 that you're accountable for yourself, on top of helping those 3 people get to district manager this month. So basically, you're getting to district manager yourself in the breakdown I've just given you, plus 1,000 QV. And then you're helping 3 people get to district manager. So I would say that's the best way to focus on getting to that 15,000 in the 1 month this month. So break the goal down, whatever your goal is, break it down, look at it every day. I find goal slicing really, really helpful. So I decide when I have a goal that's like a QV goal, I slice it down to every single day. What do I want to achieve by the end of week 1? What do I want to achieve by the end of week 2? What does that break down to daily? How do my days look? So I spoke about this earlier, 250 QV a day if you're going for DM by the 15th, right? And what that does for me is, it makes me accountable. I'll write down the days, and then I'll write down where I'm at beside it. And if I'm behind where I need to be, I know that the next day I need more. And then if I'm behind again, I know that I need more. But then sometimes you'll be over and you'll be like, okay, great, we're ahead of schedule. And then by the end of week 1, I just always make sure that I'm on target by at least the end of week 1, because your days might fluctuate, but by the end of your weeks, you want to make sure that you're on target. And that really helps me stay on track. And what you can actually do is you can goal slice in your notes. If you have an Apple iPhone, goal slice in your notes, send that note to your upline and then you can keep each other accountable because they can write wee notes beside it, you can write wee notes beside it, and you'll both get that onto your notes. So that's a good way to do goal slicing if you want to stay accountable to somebody else as well. The other thing you can do is sticky notes. So sticky notes are really helpful because you can put up a wall of sticky notes. You might have seen some people do this before. Maybe each sticky note will represent 250 QV, right? So say you're going for that 3,500 by mid-month, and you've got 15 of them up on your wall, each representing 250 QV. And every day you've done it, you get to pick off a sticky note. Every time you've hit that 250 block, pull off a sticky note. And it's just good to have them there and a visual and an action that's attached to reaching your goals as well. So pull them off, pull them off. And what I would say to you guys is get your stats off. If you're sitting on 0 right now, get your stats off 0, right? I don't care what that looks like. It might be ordering your household order. It might be helping a PC get an order, but just get them off 0 tonight because you don't want to be looking at zeros. It's not good for you to be looking at a 0. You want to see progress every single day. So if you're looking at 0 right now, get it off 0 tonight. That's the first step you want to do. So who is ready? Like, who's ready to get into activity with the things that I've just spoken about? I'm going to give you a list of things. So the 7th of May is the next call. So I've spoken about on this call about reaching out to people, about having those conversations with people, about leading with the business, about goal slicing, putting up the sticky notes. They're all actions that you can do. But the next call is the 7th of May at 7:30. All the calls are going to be at 7:30 just to keep us right so that we know the time. They're all the same. So what you want to be doing by the next call, I'm going to give you some tasks to do, is make a list of 50 people that you want to reach out to. It's really helpful to have a list, and don't write anybody off on that list because you never ever know what is going through their head, and you never know. I was going to say you never know if anyone saw the reel that I posted today. I was going to say you never know the battles that someone's facing unless you have a 2-year-old on your arm, and then everyone knows the battles that you're facing if they're screaming. Okay, so make a list of 50 people. A second task is to reach out to 10 of those people by the 7th. So on your list of 50, reach out to 10 by the next call about the business. Also, one social media post or reel about the business or about network marketing or about a product, but something to do with your business. And if you want help with that, your upline will be able to guide you with that, give you some ideas. But the more authentic that you can make it, the better. The more that it comes from you and people see you, then that's going to reach and land with your audience way, way better. So one reel or post, don't spend too long doing that part. If you need help with it, ask for help, but don't spend days thinking of ideas and trying to be creative. Just get something out there. And then your last task is by the 7th of May, you want to have at least 500 QV showing on your stats. And that's if you're going for district manager, right? If you're going for area manager, multiply that by 4, 2,000 QV by the 7th of May. Okay, so who's in? Who's ready? We did that in 30 minutes. Amazing. Okay, so get out your comfort zone. Do something tonight that pushes you outside your comfort zone. This boot camp is going to be all about that. So if you're here for a comfortable ride, it's not it. This is about getting uncomfortable. It's about staying accountable to each other. It's about moving the needle in your business and reaching those goals, okay? So let's come back here on the 7th with our goals completed. Keep us up to date in the WhatsApp chat once you've ticked any of those things off. I know some of you are going to be on it tonight, so let us know. Let's stay accountable, tell each other when we've done it, and let's meet up again on the 7th, ready for our next bootcamp call. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, guys. I am so excited for you all. This is absolutely the month to do it, and let's get the month off to a flying start. I will see you all back on the 7th. Bye.